build wealth easily while others work hard and struggle. Your financial future isn't defined by textbooks or how much you know. It's shaped by your mindset and the everyday behaviors you have with money. Deep inside our minds, we all have hidden biases and mental shortcuts that silently guide our financial choices without us ever truly being aware of them. None of us begin our journey from the same starting line, because the path we walk and the life we live are shaped by experiences that are uniquely our own. The story you've lived with money from childhood until now is a powerful force that silently guides every single financial choice you make today. Even the most meticulous strategies can fall apart when powerful emotions like fear and greed take control of our decision-making. This traps you in a downward spiral of making one poor choice after another, leaving you overwhelmed by constant and frustrating financial stress. But the good news is, you can learn the skills to develop a much healthier and more positive relationship with your finances for a better future. Every smart decision you make today helps build a more financially secure tomorrow, giving you the freedom to live a life with far less stress and worry. Don't go anywhere, because we're about to show you how to implement these incredibly effective principles in your own life for truly amazing results. Idea 1. People make financial decisions based on their own life experiences. Economists' models are flawed because they treat us like rational robots trying to maximize money, but real life is far more messy and unpredictable. Consider the lottery, where low-income families spend about $411 on tickets, while 40% of them struggle to even find $400 for an emergency. It may not seem logical, but for so many it's their one real chance at the kind of life the wealthy have always taken completely for granted. The core idea is simple, yet profound. People make financial decisions based on their own personal experiences, not on spreadsheets or theories. Economists Malmendier and Nagel confirmed this in a 2006 study analyzing extensive data to understand what truly shapes our financial decisions. Their answer? Our personal experiences with the economy when we were in our early 20s. That period becomes our lifelong financial blueprint. Coming of age during a recession can make you risk-averse because witnessing that hardship firsthand creates a powerful memory that sticks with you. Growing up in a boom makes you more comfortable with stock market risk, because your own experience shows you that big risks can lead to big rewards. You won't find this kind of reasoning in any textbook, but when viewed through the lens of lived experience, it makes perfectly understandable human sense. Idea 2. The surprising role of luck. We are led to believe success is all about hard work. But what if a huge part of our financial lives is actually just a product of pure random chance? Consider Bill Gates a symbol of genius and relentless hard work. But it's also true his historic journey was profoundly shaped by incredible luck. In 1968, he had the 1 in a million chance to use a school computer. This was a lucky break that gave him a truly monumental advantage. Those years of compounded skill from early access meant he wasn't just better. He was playing an entirely different game than everyone his age. His close friend, Kent Evans, was just as brilliant, and together they formed a powerful team ready to change the world with their shared passion. Tragically, Kent lost his life in a rare climbing accident just before graduation. A life full of such great potential was cut short by simple bad luck. While one was lifted up by a lucky break, the other was tragically struck down. It's the same story showing both sides of fortune's unpredictable coin. This is a truth in all of our financial stories. Understanding the role luck plays is the first step towards achieving genuine financial wisdom. Idea 3. The dangers of minimizing the importance of luck. Copying the strategies of financial outliers to chase their huge wins is a common and risky investment trap, known as the copycat effect. We study the super rich like Bill Gates for clues trying to mimic their exact path, believing it's a replicable formula for our own success. The more extraordinary and unique a success story is, the more likely luck played a huge role. These stories offer the least applicable lessons. When we try to copy an outlier and fail, we get discouraged, not realizing their success was just an unreplicable dose of pure luck. Instead of focusing on specific people, we should look for broad patterns. Focus on the strategies that many successful people have in common. Follow what most wealthy people did with thing A, not the rare exception who got rich with thing B, because that's the much safer bet. Knowing the difference between a real pattern and a lucky break is the key to finding the true signal hidden within all the background noise. Acknowledge the role of luck in outlier success and study broad patterns, not single winners, to create a more durable and practical financial plan. Idea 4. Predicting the future based on the past is a fool's errand. A good plan requires predicting the market's future, not just extending the past. This is a significant mistake many investors make. Housel argues we shouldn't use the past to predict the future, since history is so often just a record of surprising and completely random events. The great irony is that an event's unpredictability is what makes it so historically significant. History is a record of things that surprised us. The future will prove just as unpredictable as the past, and it will always deliver surprising events that no one could possibly see coming. The second reason is that unforeseeable outlier events will have the biggest effects on our economic futures. They are the true game changers. These outliers set off unpredictable chain reactions. We can't anticipate their second and third order effects, which ripple through everything. This is why studying history is not as helpful as we think. It can't prepare you for what you've never seen before. Having control of your time and life, a power that comes from building real wealth, not just earning a high-paying salary. True wealth is simply the freedom to wake up and know your day is entirely your own to design. That is a power that cannot be measured or seen. Idea 6. The power of your savings rate. It seems strange to have to convince people to save money. Yet building wealth often comes down to this one simple, yet overlooked action. Your wealth depends less on your income or returns and more on your savings rate. This is the one factor you have almost complete control over. Imagine two investors. One gets an 8% return, the other a brilliant 12%. On the surface, the second investor seems destined for more success. But the first investor has a lower cost of living and a much higher savings rate. He has more capital to put to work, despite lower returns. Over time, the person who saves more ends up wealthier. A high savings rate can beat a high investment return, which is a powerful realization. The key is closing the gap between your ego and your income. Learn to be happy with less, and you'll find that saving money is so much easier. When you desire less, you spend less. This creates a virtuous cycle where your savings grow faster and your financial needs simultaneously shrink. When you increase your savings rate, you build wealth faster and learn to live on less, making financial freedom both more attainable and much more secure. Idea 7. Logic and reasoning. A financial plan can look flawless on paper, a perfect equation for wealth. But real life doesn't always follow the strict logic of a spreadsheet. When faced with real-world chaos, a purely logical plan can feel too rigid. The emotional strain makes it incredibly easy for you to abandon ship. Being reasonable with your money is better than being coldly rational. It's a more flexible and sustainable approach that's far easier to stick with. Being reasonable means creating a plan you can actually live with. This consistency is the most important factor for long-term financial success. Investing today to avoid future regret might not seem logical on a spreadsheet. Yet it's a powerful, reasonable motivator for building security. A purely rational investor sees only cold numbers and financial returns. A reasonable investor also considers the people who rely on their decisions. Focusing solely on financial metrics misses the social and emotional side of money. True wealth management must consider the whole human experience. You can't be an emotionless robot, nor can you be ruled by irrational feelings. The key is moderation. a reasonable balance between logic and reality. Idea 8. Margin for error. A solid plan is essential, but you must always be ready for the unexpected. The best strategies build in a buffer for when things inevitably go wrong. Consider Las Vegas card counters. They aren't predicting the future, they're simply playing the odds and know the value of a margin of safety. You can't predict the next card, but you can track probabilities. Card counting gives you a statistical edge over the long run, not a guaranteed win. This knowledge lets you know when the odds are in your favor. It's about making bigger bets when the chances of winning are statistically higher. Having an edge won't guarantee you win every hand, as short-term losses are an expected and necessary part of any long-term winning strategy. This is why a margin for error is critical. You need enough capital to survive the inevitable downturns and stay in the game to let the odds work. History is filled with great ideas that failed because they were pushed to extremes. They left no room for the unpredictable nature of reality. Expect uncertainty not as a possibility, but as an inevitability. The only way to manage this constant risk is to build a buffer and ensure survival. Idea 9. You will see things in a new way. Long-term planning is hard as priorities shift, and we see this in a young man who worked so hard to transform his entire life from the beginning. From a young age, his dream was to become a doctor. Despite many obstacles, he remained laser-focused on his path and eventually found success. It's an incredible feeling to start from absolutely nothing and become the person you always dreamed of being. He had finally and truly made it. But when asked about his life years later, his perspective was shockingly different. He had only one thing to say about his career: awful. The immense stress of the job had completely worn him down. He was deeply saddened and regretful about the life he had fought so hard to build. As a young man, all he could see was the money and the prestige of the job. He had never truly considered the potential downsides of his chosen path. This is a common story. Most people change their minds about what they want to do for a living multiple times over the course of their lives. The truth is that none of us can know what the future holds. Only 27% of recent college graduates end up working in a field related to their major. Idea 10. How to avoid becoming a victim of pessimism. Pessimism often sounds smarter and more credible than optimism. We're naturally drawn to warnings as a survival instinct that demands our attention. True optimism isn't a belief that everything will be fine. It's the faith that things will work out long-term despite the inevitable setbacks. Optimism is a bet that most people wake up trying to be better. Over time, this collective effort is what leads to real and tangible progress. When you tell someone everything will be fine, they're likely to roll their eyes. A pessimistic view just feels more grounded and realistic to many. If someone says they know a stock that will increase tenfold, most people dismiss it. Positive financial predictions are often met with skepticism. But if someone claims your stock is about to crash, you'll listen intently. Negative news carries an urgency that positive news seems to lack. Tell people the next Great Depression is coming, and they will hang on your every word. Bad news is seductive as it feels like a call to action. Avoiding pessimism requires understanding its magnetic pull. You must acknowledge short-term risks while betting on the power of long-term growth. Idea 11. When you are so desperate that you'd believe anything. An alien sent to Earth to watch our economy floated over New York's Times Square in 2007, a silent and deeply curious observer. He was shocked by the scene. Tens of thousands of people, huge billboards, fireworks, and TV cameras filled his entire view with chaotic energy. When he returned to that same spot in 2009, the world felt completely different. But the technology had somehow only managed to get even better. Smartphones were now in every hand. Computers were faster, medicine was more advanced, and both social media and green energy expanded at a rapid pace. And yet, the median US household was $16 trillion poorer. The stock market had catastrophically lost half its value in just 2 short years. The general mood had soured completely. The previous vibrant energy was gone, replaced by a tangible and widespread sense of deep gloominess. The stark contrast between technological progress and economic despair was something the alien simply could not comprehend or rationalize at all. He witnessed even the most advanced people lose emotional control, a stark reminder of how fear and uncertainty drive financial decisions.